Support for the Hard Luck Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men, including 3 of the most important dudes in podcasting right now. That's Steve,
right.
Blue Eyes, Chumahan. We have an exclusive offer for our supporters, 20% off, free shipping with the code. What's the code, Blue Eyes? HLS at manscaped.com. Steve,
they hooked me up. Manscaped hooked me up with a bunch of tools and formulations from their perfect 3.0 kit. Man, this thing is out of control. You guys have got me the best ball shaving lawnmower ever. You remember those times where you cut yourself or it burns? Or
our times, there was remember when Schmitty fucking cut a wrinkle? Right. And he fucking almost bled to death.
Almost bled out.
Bizarro had to fucking suck the wound and put some heat and cauterize it.
You don't have to do that anymore.
That's right. Manscaped's come to the rescue. They've created the best ball hair trimmer ever. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. Thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, I now feel very confident about shaving my gonads.
With that LED light, that gives you good, precise, precision shaving. You don't have to worry about cutting yourself anymore.
Exactly.
It's a lawnmower.
Exactly. It comes with the perfect package. 3.0 includes a crop preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant, and moisturizer. You already put it on your pits. Why are you not putting it down on your taint? Make your taint smell good, would you?
Yeah, man, because, hey, your balls might stink.
Right.
And speaking of sticky, sweaty balls, I'm thankful to the crop reviver. That crop reviver is something else, man.
Yeah.
It keeps my balls preserved. You know what I'm saying? No sweating, no sticking, no smelling.
Yeah, last time King Salmon was in here, it smelled like an old moldy towel. So get Manscaped.
Batwing.
Oh, true.
Right, Batwing.
Right. So get 20% off, free shipping with the code HLS at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you, and your fingertips, when you smell them, will thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Adios.
Wait, what about this? What's this? That's right now we're with Joseph.
That's Dire Straits.
Dude, you're the man. So to swing, bro.
Well, let me tell you something, man. Like, people be like,
this is like a hit.
you know what, man? Like people that aren't from Southern California and people that are 30 years and younger, they don't understand.
I was banging at an early age, and I still know all these songs.
No. And what I'm saying is,
right on, man.
What I'm saying is that everybody thinks that Chicanos were just always listening to oldies and that's it. My experience is everybody was listening to rock
How
and
about
roll.
this? Can you picture me with longer hair?
Yes, because I grew up like that. But that's how I grew up.
I had longer hair than him.
But that's how I grew up.
Everybody in my neighborhood had long hair.
Everybody did. Right. And everybody was going to Cal Jam 1 and Cal Jam 2 and Ted Nugent concerts and Peter Frampton. And dude, everybody listened to rock and roll. There was no rap music at that time.
No, there was no rap.
Everybody listened to Cheap Trick. Everybody listened to
a lot of rap music has classic rock elements as its beats. Sure. That Jimmy Page drum kit is what's backing a lot of shit.
Molly Hatchet.
That's right, baby.
I seen them in Nuremberg, Germany. 350,000 people now.
Dude, I could do this for the next 10 years.
At the Nuremberg.
What about this?
Come on, man. You gotta get better.
Oh, yeah. Smoke on the water.
No, that's not smoke on the water, homie. Sunshine of my love.
That's
who is it?
Clapton. The Cream.
Cream, that's right.
That's Clapton.
That's right. Cream wasn't, Clapton wasn't
Clapton singing.
Yeah, that's right.
I see him in that same festival come up, and the first song he sang was Cocaine.
Yeah, which, by the way, that's a cover. That Cocaine song is an old black tune. Yeah, blues tune. That's right. Let's see if I can find the original of that.
Foghat.
Come on. Dude, that's like nothing, man. This is like, come on, bro. What are you doing?
No, I see it, but I knew the song.
Right.
That's a 70s song.
Do you consider my friend? Okay, what about
Remember Rick Derringer?
Hold on.
Rick Derringer.
What about this? Do you consider this?
That's Joe Walsh.
David Bowie.
And what band did Joe Walsh play in?
Hold on, I know. Wait. James Gang.
Nope. This is Joe.
The James Gang.
He was, but he was also in the Eagles.
The Eagles that later, but that's he cut his James Gang.
That's right, James Gang. Man, dude, I think we need to bring Joseph in on a goddamn fucking music show. Hey, what's up, Kay? You're staring at us. Nothing?
Look.
That's the kid.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
People ask me, how come your grades were, why were you so easy with the grades? Well, like I was telling the brother, unfortunately I did a lot of extracurricular activities behind the walls, and I had a lot of isolation time. And what I did, so I wouldn't go cuckoo, was I read, and I read, and I read. I read a lot of shit. Anything that was true. Basically.
Right, that's what I like to read, true stuff. I don't like fictitious stuff.
Nah, I don't. Yeah. That's like very rarely. Now I like Harry Potter, the movies, because of the special effects. But I never read that. Never read it. The only one I read of Stephen King was Shawshank Redemption, because somebody told me it was a good.
Right.
What do you call it?
What's your take? What's your take on Shawshank Redemption? That's about prison, but
that's about the. I know a lot of old lifers.
Yeah.
Would tell me that back in the day, that's exactly how it was.
No shit. Because sometimes I wonder, I'm like, was that some bullshit or?
All right, Kevin, thank you.
No, that's pretty realistic. Actually, they kind of watered it down, because I know lifers, raping a man was nothing, Really, if you didn't weren't a part of somebody, they were gonna get that ass.
Yep.
Damn.
That's how it used to be. That's why groups got together and gangs even started.
That's how it started. Yeah.
All right, what do you want to do?
Come on.
Let's start the show.
Wait. Big Lep wants to weigh in on this, and then maybe Sean can hit the fucking key when it's ready. And
yeah, we got some good shit for the hard luck, baby.
All right, try again, Sean. Get ready. All right, tell me when you're ready. Trying to coordinate this shit.
Hold on one second. All right. Bro. Hey, I said, where you from? I'm from West Side. Your brother, faced with hard luck. Faced with hard luck. Card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Pimps and card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Your brother, faced with hard luck. Faced with hard luck. Card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Pimps and card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Hard Luck Show. I'm your qualified, certified, West Side host, Steve Lucky Luciano. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you've tuned into the greatest show on earth. It's the Hard Luck Show, coming at you from the bunker in Southern California. Sitting on my left, my co-host
is Chumahan, going American Indian, Southern Californian, elegant barbarian, here to fucking rip shit up once again.
And again.
What? Remember that shit?
I was living in New York at this time, Rob Bass.
Man, I was in middle school trying to get laid. Let me tell you something. Huh?
Now, without the voice on it.
Yeah.
Just the beat.
Yeah.
Remove all the vocals.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That sound, you would walk through New York City in Alphabet City, and you would just hear that all over.
I know.
That's all you would hear, bro.
I know.
Woo. That fucking bass line, that thing was just playing everywhere. Bro, the hottest song in New York when it came out, bro.
Hey, I said, where you from? I'm from West Side.
Now, and on sound, got old Blue Eyes himself,
Sean Lewis.
Nice.
Certified audio professional.
Come on.
ZZ Top, huh?
Oh, come on.
They would always make hot videos.
Oh, dude, come on.
Hang a hot chicks in their videos.
I don't know what it is, but I know I shouldn't, but I love ZZ Top, bro. And I even got more respect for them after I watched their documentary about how they came up with that name, how they fucking...
Now, I got a picture at home of Billy wearing a Supermax jacket.
No shit.
Yeah, he was
Where
friends
the fuck
with
is that?
He was friends with Mark Fox.
You should put that shit
Yeah,
up.
I know. I gotta find that.
Right. Fuck, man.
Unbelievable.
Right.
And we also have a very special
What you got to
guest.
say here? Diddy and Rain? No buttons to push?
We have a friend here that's come to visit us.
A brother.
Right now,
A brother that's
everybody
taken a
here.
long
Hearts, any
journey.
kind of hearts and ears.
Been a journey in getting here today for this man.
He's a man of knowledge.
And wisdom and
can tell.
experience.
You can tell. A
Since he
wealth.
came in. A wealth of knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah.
We would like to welcome in to the show today, Mr. Joseph Valadez.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up, Mr. Joseph Valadez?
Yeah.
What's up, my brother?
Yes, as I said
on?
before, it's really
Listen,
great.
I said to Joseph, I said, hey,
to bore you for about
what you what are we gonna introduce you on? And he just like dusted
He
off.
didn't
His,
hesitate.
he dusted off his shoulder and just said, like a Rolling Stone by Jimi Hendrix.
He knew.
He knew.
He was almost like he was waiting for you to ask him that shit. He's like, oh, he asked me that shit. I'm gonna tell him.
He said, I said, hey, what do you want us to play? And he said,
I know.
I said, hey, what?
I know.
He knew.
He knew.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. We probably sat for a while and talked to Joseph just about classic rock for
Yeah,
God knows.
Joseph's black belt.
Third
on his
degree.
Third degree black belt on the knowledge of classic rock and roll.
Yeah, and you guys were starting to get into it about how a lot of people think that like Latinos, you know what I mean, only listen to oldies and shit, but you were like, not really.
You know what's funny, Joseph, is when you told me, like, can you imagine I had hair longer than... I sometimes tell people, because from the west side where I grew up, there was a couple neighborhoods that started off like mid-city was mid-city stoners. Those were long-haired Chicanos that listened to rock and roll and heavy metal, and they became a neighborhood. The other one was, believe it or not, Mara Salvatrucha. When those dudes first, they were all about Iron Maiden and like they were like long hair, and it became a neighborhood. But when I was young growing up, a lot of the homies all had long hair, man. They were listening to Peter Frampton, Led Zeppelin. It's different.
It was back when I grew up. It was the same. People play oldies, but people play rock, man.
Right, both.
And whatever the latest rock. You gotta remember, all them people were mainstream artists at that particular time.
Yeah.
So Zeppelin, Hendrix. Well, Hendrix already been gone, and ZZ Top, barely beginning. Foghat. Frankenstein. I like Frankenstein. Edgar and Johnny Winter.
Hey, Joseph, take us back, man. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the city of Stanton. And there's a neighborhood in Stanton called Crow Village, and that's where I'm from.
Crow Village.
Crow Village in Stanton.
Wow, man. What decade are we talking?
Shit. You figure I was born in 58, so I remember when they killed JFK.
What was it
I
like?
was in kindergarten when they killed JFK.
Wow.
I remember when they killed RFK. I remember when they killed Martin. I remember when they killed Malcolm. I remember when they Cesar Chavez first came about. Did the great boycotts and the lettuce boycotts, and he was doing the fasting, and that's how far. I remember the civil rights marches before there was the civil rights marches, man. I mean, you know. I grew up in that era.
So let me ask you a question, just real quick. Where we're at politically in this country compared to what you saw back then, what insights do you get?
I don't really voice my political. I thought at one time I was getting some semblance of being better.
Yeah.
And then we just experienced 4 years of shit.
Right.
You know, and to tell you the truth, my ideas on politics, it's all fucking obscene. It's
What do you
all
mean?
obscene. The whole idea, all of them, they ain't worth the fuck. All of them.
Right.
Left, right, in the middle, fuck them motherfuckers. Think about this.
Go ahead.
Think about this. Think from the micro to the macro level of all the elections throughout the United States. Let's start at the city council level.
Right.
Let's work to the county.
Yeah.
Let's work to the state.
Yeah.
Let's work to the federal level and all through the United States. How much money do you think we'll spend on the election? On them elections?
A shit ton.
My point. Don't you think that money could have been used better?
Of course.
Yeah. I think I seen a figure, something like a half $500 billion, maybe.
Listen.
Anywhere to 750.
Hey, Joseph, to what you say, we could, if we wanted to, write laws where no one could spend money on the elections.
They tried, but they know that they won't do it. They find loopholes, the super PACs, and all that.
Super PAC.
Like
You're right. You're right.
You're right.
Yep.
You know, no, I keep abreast of it. I'm telling you, when you're isolated, you got a lot of time. You read all kinds of bullshit. You know.
Well, I guess my question to you was also aimed at.
And don't think that these motherfuckers they just elected are what the fuck.
Right.
You're right.
Listen, but I was also kind of curious because when I look back at some of that stuff, right? Like I look back at the civil rights and I think about those marches, right? There's something slightly different about the people back then that they knew how to organize. They knew they were.
My hands out to my black brothers and sisters, man. They got their shit together. I mean, as far as the marches and shit.
Right. And I was thinking about, like, I don't know that we as a nation, I'm not even going to put it on a person, let's say. But I'm going to say we as younger people don't necessarily know how to organize a march like that anymore.
You know what? I think because, I know politics divide a lot of people.
Yeah.
We know this last whatever, it divided a lot of families, man.
Oh, my God, that's so true.
And
I
don't know the answer. I'd rather for myself.
Right.
I'll say for myself.
Go ahead.
Going to prison makes you a racist. Period.
Right.
Period.
Right.
The brother will tell you. You know, and being on this journey, I've learned to be all inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when I say I don't give a fuck whatever your political affiliations are, as long as you don't express them to me when it comes to certain people, man.
Right.
I'm going to love you. I don't know, you're rainbow, green, purple, whatever, man. And that's what my point. I think if we had more love and tolerance with each other, man, you know, it wouldn't be as fucked up as it is now.
I think, I feel like part of the reason why there, quote unquote, is this division now, right, is because the economics have changed. Like people are more stressed out and desperate.
Don't get me on that damn 1% shit. No,
serious, do it.
The distribution of wealth is obscene.
It's fucked up.
It's real fucked up.
It's obscene.
Yeah, it's obscene.
It's obscene.
It's perverse.
And I hadn't known it because I did a paper, and I was seeing. You never hear it, but think about pharmaceuticals and their families. They're the richest people in the world, man. And they owned a lot of that fucking wealth. But you don't hear it. And then I started thinking, well, fuck, look at all the drugs they got for this, that, and whatever.
Right.
And guess who's making money on all that shit? But they're real low-key about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They're real cool. And all this time, they're gathering and not giving a fuck.
The legal dope dealers, bro.
For instance, the makers of Oxycontin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We know when they sit their ass in them fucking boardrooms,
right,
they project X amount of revenue for each year.
Right.
Right. Let's say 50 million. It's more than that, but let's say 50 million.
Sure.
But they also put away at least 15, 20 of that million for settlements on lawsuits and what have you.
Oh, absolutely.
But they factored that in.
They got a guy in there.
They factored that in.
They got a guy in there whose whole entire job, he's a math genius, and his job is to figure out what the settlement rate is, how much it's going to cost, and that's all worked into the price.
As long as they're making a profit for the shareholders or whatever, and it's not. Most of the pharmaceutical companies aren't shareholders; they're family owned.
Right.
They're not publicly traded.
No, and so
that's too much money to publicly trade.
So
fuck.
So you put away that, and they're still making $35 million off of whatever,
right?
You know, and they'll throw a breadcrumb to who's ever litigating them civil lawsuits. They factor all that shit in, man.
For sure.
That right, Chumahan?
That is true. That's 100% true. That's how Pinto. So, listen, if you think about the Ford case, the Pinto case that everybody knows about, that's how Ford got fucked, or that's how they had to face justice. Because the attorneys found that guy. They affectionately call that man the bean counter. He's the bean counter.
Okay.
And they found that guy at Ford, and they got him to testify on the stand that, yes, I did the calculations for the amount of explosions that will burn up families, how much we'd have to pay out. It would cost us more to recall the machines than it would to just pay those people out. So we purposely, intentionally, consciously made the decision to leave a dangerous product out there.
This is so fucked up.
Listen.
Every day, bro. Every day they do shit like that.
I'm going to tell you even more. McDonald's, that case about the old woman who got her crotch burned by the coffee. Now, a lot of people, because the media, who are corporate fucking putas, right? They'll make it sound like what it was an old lady came up. Who doesn't know coffee's hot, bitch? Fucking, put on the true story of that in the trial. When I've read the case, the true story of that McDonald's coffee case is that McDonald's had been told by the government to turn their coffee down because it was so hot it will burn people twice. And the people in the front office said, we think it tastes better this hot, and we figured that the people that might get burned by it, we're not going to turn it down. It'll be worth it for us to just deal with that. And that woman, it was her son who was driving. They were parked. And when she took the lid off the coffee, it burned her. She was a grandma, abuela, and she had to have skin grafts done. And her first question to McDonald's was, I just want you to pay for the medical bills. And McDonald's said, fuck you. We're not doing it because it'll set a precedent. We'll have to pay more. And when the jury heard that they knew that their coffee was too hot, the jury was like, well, how do we fucking make an impact on a corporation that makes $2 million a day on coffee alone? Mm-hmm. We got to write it. We got to sign a big fucking check and let McDonald's know you fucked up.
So how much did they award that woman?
It's undisclosed because I'm going to tell you how even more fucked up this country is. Ugh. Because even though in the news it'll say jury awards woman $300 million for burned coffee, there is a mechanism in the courts called additor and remittitor, meaning that even though the jury's decided to punish a corporation, if it's so large, like $300 million, a judge can then step in and say, let's do remittitor. This is such an outlandish award for what happened that you're either going to take less plaintiff, even though you won, and even though you paid your attorneys a lot of money, or you're going to have to retry the entire case again. Mm. And so based on that, the attorney said, fuck you, we're going to go again. And when they started to go again, McDonald's settled, and they wanted an NDA for the settlement. So we don't know how much she actually eventually got. But I'm just letting you know that when you hear in the news that somebody made like $1 billion off a lawsuit, you don't know that also there's a procedure where judges who might be crooked can actually say, you know what? That's crazy.
Too much.
We're going to start over.
Gonna override it.
Exactly. Fuck. So let me ask you a question, Joseph. How does a guy from Crow Village, a lover of music, how did you get started in a path that was going to take you to that solitary confinement?
Oh, I got involved at an early age, brother. You know, I think I come from a family. My mom's side had 9 sisters and 7 brothers. Wow. And my dad had 7 brothers and 2 sisters.
Damn.
And needless to say, if you know Mexican families, they like to party for every fucking occasion there is. Baptismals, fucking birthdays. It's a fucking, it's a reason to go party, man.
Right.
And if it's, so like say my mom's family, all my aunts and uncles all had at least 6, 7 kids apiece. So you can imagine the fucking the family
Amount of
gatherings.
people.
Right. That's an expensive Christmas, man.
So when they have these gatherings, you know, I'd hang out with my cousins or what have not, and then after a while, you know, people get loose and they're leaving half cans of drinks. And,
right.
You know, we'd go sneak off and hit it a couple of times, you know. But it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing. You know, like I was alcoholic or anything. You know, it was just for the buzz. Later on, it wasn't like that at all, man. I would drink for effect, man, just to get fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I started smoking weed. I started smoking weed with the homies, my cousins, and then I think in 6th grade, going to 7th grade, my dad tells me I had to go to work with them, and I had to go because they weren't going to buy my school clothes no more. So I had to go earn my money. And I love my dad, man. You know, I had a lot of resentments for that fucking summer.
Right.
And
what was the work?
I was his labor, and back then, you know, I would have to dig trenches, and now they got trench diggers, but back then it was all pick and shovels. So my dad would make me that whole summer dig trenches without using gloves. So fuck, man, I didn't have no fucking calluses.
Can you imagine that? 7th to 8th grade, you're digging trenches.
No, I was going from 6th to the 7th grade. I think I was 12 years old.
Fuck, Sean.
And the motherfucker he wouldn't let me wear gloves. He said, no, because he wanted me to get my hands calloused.
Right.
Right?
A worker's hands.
Motherfuckers, man. And I had a lot of resentment, man. And I don't know if you're familiar with construction, but every construction workers that I've known, after the fucking job's done, they all gather around and they fucking either pass the hat or they have something cold waiting.
Right, of course.
Right? And they, you know, sit there and pound a couple and shoot the shit or whatever. Well, that particular time, that first day, the very first day, I remember like it was yesterday, my dad went and got the beer. Right? Passed the hat, he went and got the beer, came back, and he's throwing beers out to everybody. And then, you know, I'm looking at him, and he throws me a fucking a Pepsi, and I said, this motherfucker, man. Right?
That's some bullshit.
Right? So the following day, same thing at the end of the job, blah, 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 pass the hat, and then the same thing, except that this time my uncle went. Mm-hmm. And he comes back, does the same thing, and he's throwing beers to everybody, and he throws me a beer. Right?
Yeah.
And fucking my dad's looking at me. If it looks like a kill, I died 1,000 deaths, man. And
Dad's like,
hey,
boy, you better have that beer back, boy.
Right?
You better.
So he's looking at my uncle like, what the fuck did you do?
Right.
And he feels the vibe, right?
Right.
You know, from looking at him, and he goes, what? You worked a man's job, now he gets a man's
work
wage.
like
You're at the gates of manhood.
And when my dad didn't say shit,
that's
I was like on and
that was a green light.
That was it.
That was a green light.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of my journey, man.
Right.
Because
it's a lot of people's journeys where
because I got to be able. I was hanging out with the homies. I had money to get the older homies go buy beer. We're getting fucked up, drinking fucking.
And you don't have to hide it now.
No.
Right.
You know,
right.
I come in all fucked up.
Right,
My mom would get mad. Right.
Right.
Especially now, I'm graduated during school. Right. The summer's over, and I'm getting fucked up during school. You know, and I had uncles, I had cousins, I had homeboys that were using heroin at the time.
How old are you now?
I was around. I didn't snort heroin for the first time until I was 15 years old.
Okay.
But because I had a lot of...
He waited until he was 15, Steve. He didn't do it too
Hey.
young. Hey.
I waited till I was 15.
It wasn't crazy. I had some sense.
But the thing was, I had a lot of homeboys, my uncles, cousins that died, that OD'd.
Sure.
And there was no way, no how I was going to stick a needle in my arm.
That's right.
Right.
Because I seen him. And then... I just shared this the other day. I'm in recovery. I always share at my meetings. And the very first time that I experienced seeing that go down, I was at my uncle's house. And I seen about 5 dudes go in the back. Now, they used to have a washroom in the back of the garage. And next to the washroom was an added-on bedroom, right? And so I snuck over there. And I said, well, what the fuck are these motherfuckers doing, man? I go over there, and I see them, man. I see them do this fucking ritual. I see them break out a spoon. I see them put something in it. Then I see a syringe. The first time I see the syringe, and they're throwing water in it. And I'm seeing them light it up, and they're all waiting, right? And
Shit just looks cool.
And I'm looking and they're like fucking like anticipating you know, something, man. Mm-hmm. I guess I made some noise. Who's out there? Hey, who's out there? Right?
He's like,
I'm about 13, 14-ish, right?
all right.
So I'm kicking it. And all of a sudden I see all these motherfuckers come out and they're all dancing. and there ain't no fucking music.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
They're all fucking dancing. There ain't no fucking music. They're doing... And I'm wondering, what the fuck is wrong with these motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it had to do something with that thing I was watching them. Mm-hmm. I had an older brother. I have an older brother.
Hold on, disculpe. I just want to ask Steve, because Steve, you seem to just light right the fuck up when you heard
love
that
these
story.
stories,
No, but can you relate to seeing the ritual of it?
Yeah, bro. I could relate to the dad the first time he ever handed me a beer and like didn't trip, and that was the green light. I got that, and then the dude's fucking mixing. I remember seeing it. I was like mesmerized. I wanted to know how to do it. They were like doctors. They knew. They were confident. And man, I wanted. It was cool. And to me, I was obsessed with that.
What was the dancing? What did that mean? What did that mean to you when Joseph said that?
It means that just like all of us, they walk in one mood and they come out floating on air, dancing on water, and that's what it looks like.
Well, when you're sick, when you're going through withdrawals and you're fucking...
right.
And especially if you got veins. If you hit that one vein, it's like, okay, you weren't able to... It wasn't the hassles. You got it the first time, and you're happy as fuck.
Right.
You're well, and you're fucking... It's in your euphoric high.
Right.
Right? That's the best way I could describe it, and my brother did that, right? He wasn't there that day, but I had caught him, right? I caught him dead bag. I came into the house, close the door. And he was doing that, right? Mm-hmm. And you better not tell Mom, right? And so a little bit later, maybe it was like I was 15. He was all fucked up and he was laid out, and he had his fucking stash on the dresser. Mm-hmm. And I was with my homeboy. My homeboy was outside, but on my window. I go, look, it's a stash. Get some, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the first time I snorted heroin, man.
How did you know to snort it?
Because I had heard
you didn't have to shoot.
You didn't have to shoot it; that you would feel the same high.
Uh-huh. Is that true? Is it the same?
Yeah. Just without the rush.
Without the rush, right? And that was man, I got sick as fuck. But I every time my brother would or other homies would get a stash, we would experiment, and I did that all the way till I was. But at the same time, at that time I don't know, man. During the late '60s, early '70s, oh my God, Every barbiturate known to man was around my fucking neighborhood.
All right. A lot of pills.
Yellows, rainbows, Seconal, True, all that shit, man. And I loved them fucking
Lefty
barbiturates.
talks about that a lot.
I loved fucking barbiturates, man. I loved them to fucking death. And that's, it just gradually went from weed, barbiturates, and then snorting fucking heroin, man.
Damn.
And all that time, the first time I got crack, I was 11 years old. I was even maybe I had already smoked weed, and drink them drinks at my relative's house. I got busted for fucking receiving stolen property. We had a crew, guys my age. We'd go on fucking boost bikes or steal bikes from people. People would leave them out in the front yard, right? We took them and we'd go over to the homie's house and I want this, I want that. I want the front tire, I want the back tire, I want the sissy bar or whatever. I wanted the frame. And I didn't fucking paint it, man. And I just put it up, slapped it. I took my shit on and put the frame on my bike and fucking ride around on it. And that's how I got cracked. And as I was working with my dad and progressing, I was going in and out of juvenile hall, man. But that was the first time I went to juvenile hall when I was 11. And usually I was getting busted. Back then you got to remember, back then they would bust you for curfew. They would bust you for fucking even truancy, and that's because the cops would be assholes. But most of the time, it was always being drunk, under the influence.
Right.
I remember I got caught with the homie's gun, and back then they would let us keep the guns because
you were younger.
Back then, juveniles they wouldn't file charges, man.
Right. You were a kid.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like it is now. They
try you as an adult. Right, all that bullshit.
They were more lenient. I think the laws didn't become heavier for kids below 16 until I think around mid-70s, late 70s, something like that.
Right.
So that was it, man.
So
it wasn't never for nothing heavy, but it was all usually for being fucked up.
Right.
Right. And so on my 18th birthday, and that's how it was. Going to school, I had good grades. In high school. And on my 18th birthday was the first time I slammed heroin, right? And I went like that. The homie got me. Because I still had that phobia, man.
Mm-hmm.
And to tell you the truth, peer pressure is a motherfucker, man. As I reflected back, and I was working on myself, I remember that day, I let somebody, the homies, it's your birthday. Well, no, we're going to get you loaded. Nah, fuck that. You ain't going to say no. Right? And you're going to be a pussy if you don't do this and all this, you know. And of course, I didn't want to fucking punk out in front of my homies.
Mm-hmm.
And I slammed for the first time. But I didn't become addicted.
That first time didn't get you?
What had happened is a little bit after that, a homie died. And there was a lot of fucking... I got cracked. And... I was given the option of either going to the joint for 2 years or going into the service. But if I go in the service, I had to sign up for 4. So fuck, that was a no-brainer.
Right.
Uncle Sam, here I come. And I signed up for 4 years.
What decade was it that you signed up for 4 years?
I went in September of 1976, and I got out September of 1980.
Right, so kind of like the tail end of Vietnam.
And that was the other thing. I got lucky because the Vietnam GI Bill ended January 1st of 1977.
Damn.
Right?
Right, so
I went in September, so I went under the radar.
Right.
I never used them benefits, though. They ended years later getting exhausted.
What service did you go into?
U.S. Army. I was 11 Echo 10, which is a armor crewman. I was in tanks, M68-1s.
You were in tanks? Did you drive them or were you...
Everything.
What's it like to drive a tank, man?
It's fucking heavy, man. I'm going to tell you that. I go to Texas after basic training I did in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Basic and AIT, and I go to Texas. And I walking down this dude. Now I hadn't slammed since then.
Yeah.
6 months, 8 months, whatever went by, right? And I go in Texas, and I walked in on this dude, man. And he's fucking slamming, right?
Yeah.
He's in the service. He's in my unit.
Man, you kind of have like a knack for walking in on dudes slamming.
And he goes, shut the door. Yeah, right?
Just like your brother.
Your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. The same thing. Exactly. And he goes, you ever did this? But he tells me real fucked up, like, you know. And then he goes, and I go, yeah, I've done it before.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he goes something to the effect, he goes, don't tell me you're one of the fucking pussies I have to slam. Please don't tell me. But he said it real fucked up. And my pride and ego kicked in.
Right.
And Joseph from Crow Village came out, no, I know how to fucking do it. You know, something like that.
Hey,
know?
get out of my way. You're fucking me up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he leaves me some. And that was it, man. I ended up getting strung out in Texas. Right?
Really? In the service.
And getting to the tank thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I was so sick with it when I was at Texas. We'd go on the gunnery, and I'd wait till nobody was around. And I'd take a cloud to the fucking to the gunnery, right?
Yeah.
I'd go on the tank and fucking fix, bam, and then we're gonna get ready to go down and blow shit up. And I'd be right there, all fucked up, fucking boom, boom, because I was a gunner, boom, boom. And I used to tell my loader, hey, put fucking 50, line them up, man, the tracers. So when the machine guns would go on, PG 50 tracers go straight. I like that shit up, man.
Hey, honestly, seriously, I mean, not to romanticize it, but I mean, how fun was it to be fucking high as fuck and shooting some big guns?
You know what? I always tell people, you know what? At the beginning, I always thought it was fun. Even though now, in retrospect, it was
right.
You know, but that part of I always thought it was fun because... Because later, I got transferred to Germany.
Yeah.
And I spent 2.5 years away.
In Germany.
And that's heroin heaven, man.
Is it?
Fuck.
Yeah, because you know why? I bet Germany has a special relationship with the Middle East that we don't fully understand.
Oh, you hit the fucking nail right on the head, brother.
Right.
You know how over here, like all my brown brothers from down south that got shit locked up?
Yeah.
Dudes from the Middle East had it locked up over there.
Right.
So you got to remember.
In Germany.
Yeah, because.
You got to remember.
Yeah, let him tell it.
All that opium gets processed in France, but all that opium comes from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran.
Right.
Those are all opium-producing nations, man.
And listen, dude, remember that kid I was telling you, that weird perverted kid with the big juicy eyes? His family was from Iran, and they had a shit ton of money. And Iran and Germany had some kind of relationship where his dad was importing BMW motors from Germany. I don't understand it entirely, but there was a relationship between Germany and the Middle East in a way that we don't fully understand over here.
Well, I know you're familiar with the movie, fucking Popeye Doyle, the
French Connection?
The French Connection. Yeah, Popeye Doyle, that's what do you call it? That has to deal with the processing of heroin from the Middle East. That's where it goes from France and then throughout Europe, and then from Europe it goes to the States. So,
yeah,
fuck, over there, that shit was damn near pure, man. You fucking do a fucking match head at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you'd be still fucked up at 8 o'clock at night, man, the same way, man. All fucking day.
Were you running tanks over there, too?
Yeah. Drove them. You drive them with the T-bar like this, like a bicycle.
Right.
It's got, on the M60s, well, the Abrams the same way. It's got low, high, reverse, and neutral.
Right.
You know, and the M60s, they would go, I think, top speed on the Autobahn, they would go 55, 60 miles.
And did you ever, like, go over some crazy terrain in one of these tanks?
All of them, man. You know, you go through anything with them fuckers, man.
Yeah.
That's combat loaded tank is 53 tons with all the bullets. Over in Germany, it was always combat loaded. Remember, this is the height of the Cold War.
Right. So remember, Germany's divided like in half. So this guy is sitting there in a fucking tank, all hopped up on pure Middle Eastern fucking grade match head fucking heroin with 52 tons of fucking deadly fucking missiles and fucking big giant ass fucking bullets and everything, just cruising down the Autobahn. Man, I gotta tell you, bro. That sounds like a fucking blast.
It was fun. I loved it. I loved the whole European thing. And I always tell people even today, because I talk to a lot of veterans that have been over there and still come back. Still the same. You got to remember, Europe has had thousands of years to tweak their fucking civilization.
Sure.
And if you think about it, the United States is how old?
Well, it depends on if you include American Indian history.
Right. No, but yeah, okay,
the American government, white people shit?
300 years.
Right.
No, the Indians, we could talk about indigenous people all day long, man.
Right.
Like,
but but you're right. So Europe has been, so this is just, man, I'm so glad you're here, brother. Because this is a man who's lived in Europe, right? And he understands to a certain extent the setup there. And what he's saying is he's like, look, Europe's had some time to tweak their shit, right? But in Germany, and I've told you this a million times, Steve, Germany was Rome's American Indians because they were tribes before Rome.
They were all the Germanic tribes.
Right. So imagine Joseph is living in a place where the dominant European powers have subdued all the crazy tribes down to these cities, these nations. And these nations, by the way, Germany's not that old. California's older as a state than Germany is as a nation.
Of course. Because Germany was just, part of the Habsburgs and all that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's when you had like Prussia and World War I and all that.
I forgot to tell you, I got a AA in history from community college.
I love it. Well, I knew you had something because you had some fucking knowledge on your fucking. He was telling it that's fucking real shit. So you're in Germany, right? You're doing your thing. Then what happens?
I'm loving it, man. I'm fucking loving it. You know, but it got to the point I was 7 months to the pad. But prior to that, there was 4 guys from Orange County, from Santa Ana, as a matter of fact. They were in my unit. They all went together on the buddy system, right? And we became good friends the whole time, right? And we're in the barracks getting fucked up. Now they know I'm getting loaded. They know I'm strung out.
Is there anybody else slamming over there?
Well, I have another buddy, right? But he was the one that go get it, and he was from another company. And well, actually, we were all in the same battalion, right? The only difference is I lived above my buddies from Santa Ana that lived downstairs, and they were in another company, right? So we would gradually, at the end of the day, we'd all get together and go do whatever the fuck, party, drink, most of them.
Right.
So we're in the barracks. It's fucking like the middle of fucking winter. We're at gunnery. You have to go and blow off the tanks twice a year. Once during the summer and once in the fucking winter, man. Beat you, the snow's as high as that fucking, what do you call it, sometimes. I did 3 winters over there.
That's cold ass shit in Germany.
Oh, my God. And
a guy out of Orange County?
Fuck, we go to the snow. The snow don't come to us.
Right. You go and check it out for like an hour and then leave.
We go to the snow. The fucking snow don't come to us.
Right.
That's the first time I ever seen a whiteout, all that shit. Dudes are making fucking snowman, and they're looking at me like I'm stupid. It's just, you don't know how to make a snowman? No.
Right. Should I? What the fuck are you talking about?
All my buddies from the from
like
Minnesota,
North Dakota, and all
Michigan,
that shit. Right.
And Upper New York and all that shit, man. I never fucking made a fucking snowman.
Hey, Steve, trip out on this. Joseph is from Stanton, which is, and the only reason why I know this is because I started researching Stanton while you were talking. It's kind of like near Huntington Beach, okay? And it's known according to these folks, maybe
8 miles from the beach.
Right. And Stanton is like on this Reddit, right? I looked it up on Reddit. There's some guys like, tell me about Stanton. I look it up on Reddit. Everyone's like, stay out of Stanton. It's dangerous. That's what they're saying here. And then the people that say, it's okay, you can hang out there during the day, buy some shit, but don't go to Crow Village. That's dangerous, which is where you're out of. Does that sound familiar to you, what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
But think about this. Trip out on this. Joseph went all the way from there to Germany in a tank in the late 70s, early 80s.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
I got out in 1980.
That's a long way. How many of your homeboys, Steve, actually made it to Germany when you were like in your 20s? Think about that. Right.
But you know what? I did a lot of partying over there. I was still a kid. I was acting a fool. The same thing, except I was getting paid for it.
Right.
Nah, I was still tagging Crow Village right there in Munich. I was tagging fucking Crow Village in fucking Nuremberg. I was still acting a fucking fool, man, you know. Well, we're in the barracks, man, and I just got finished getting loaded. You know, I used to have a Sherlock Holmes party. You ever see the Sherlock Holmes?
I love that. The calabash.
The motherfucker had a hole like that.
Yeah.
You fill that fucker up with fucking hash.
Yeah.
That shit was opium-based, right?
Right.
And I just finished doing a good one, fucking smoking. We're drinking that fucking German beer. I'm on a good one. Here comes this dude, man. I don't know if you know him. Dudes from Texas don't like people from California, guys from California.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There's a little rivalry there.
When it comes to the Latinos, yeah. Right? They think we're born with silver spoons up our ass. I don't know. But there's a rivalry because we went through it when I was in Texas. So this dude comes in. We didn't like, you know, this guy was way out there, man. So he wasn't included in our group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he got butthurt, right?
Yeah.
And he comes in all fucked up, right? He comes in all fucking and starts ragging on us. Oh, you guys from California, blah, 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 blah. Think you're all fucking all that, blah, 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 blah. And then, man, go to bed, man. You're all fucked up. You know, go to bed, right? And fuck you, you know what, blah, blah, blah. I said something. I don't know exactly what I said. And he goes, oh, fuck all you guys. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you too. You know what? Fuck your mother.
Oh.
Man.
It was on and cracking, man.
Yeah.
And I cracked that motherfucker. And I thought I'd laid his ass out. And I took off. And because I didn't want to be around, this motherfucker might start screaming like a bitch. That's serious shit.
Right.
Hitting another serviceman is like, it's like, ooh, that's sacrilegious.
Right.
Right.
Because you guys are all supposed to be on the same team and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I got you.
But they're real fucked up if you get caught. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could ding a motherfucker up when nobody's looking, but if you know, sometimes they go tell. So I split. I took off, and I'm talking to that dude's buddy in his unit because he wasn't from another unit. And I go, you know, and blah blah blah. I'm digging in his ass, and next thing I know, bam! This motherfucker came around. He got up, had a baseball bat, aluminum, and cracked my ass over twice. Right, and laid my ass out. Right.
Wow.
And when he laid me, he fucked up because when he did it in front of the powers that be. Right, and made me look like the victim.
Right.
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 And so I ended up getting medevac. I was so fucked up. The doctor told me had it not been that I was so fucked up, I would have probably bled out. Right.
Right. You know, we hear that on the show a lot. That people are like, dude, if I wasn't so fucked up, I probably would have died.
So I ended up getting medevac to a hospital, and this was, I think, I had like about because I had no deed yet. Maybe a year left before I went home. So that passed. I didn't get in trouble. 3 months later, me and a buddy, I was sick. I was double sick. We came off. It was like in the. It was getting towards spring, and it was already warming up. And fucking, we had just come back from playing army out in the field. I think we were out there like 3 weeks. And every time we go in the field, I have a clown. Make sure I fucking have enough to last, or I have some barbiturates Just in case I run out, I have something to fall back on, so I wouldn't feel dope sick.
Right.
Right. Well, I didn't have shit, and I was already like 4 days, 5 days, fucking blown up, sick. Right. And as soon as we got back to the barracks, as soon as we cleaned the fucking tanks and turned in our weapons, I went to the fucking. We went, took a shower. We were on the first train to fucking Frankfurt because the connection was in Frankfurt, which was about maybe about less than an hour by train from where we lived.
Where were you guys? Munich?
I was in a town called Schaffenburg. That's like
Schaffenburg.
It's right on the Main River. Look it up.
No, you know what? I just did. And you know what Schaffenburg means in English? It means Crow Village.
So me and this other buddy, he was another. They got back the same time. Well, everybody comes back from the battalion. So he already knows the game plan, man. We're going to go to fucking Frankfurt and pick up and fucking come back and do our due. Right? Over there, you can walk into the pharmacy and ask for a fucking outfit, and they'll give you an outfit, right? They'll sell you a needle, right? So we go to a pickup, and we come back, and I told him, fucking Eddie, I ain't waiting, fool. I'm gonna go in the fucking in the restroom. And I'm gonna go fucking slam, go do my what do you call it?
My issue,
right? And he goes, okay. We're on the train coming back, and I guess he said I took too long, and he went in and fucking. He said I was all purple, and the needle was still in my arm.
Damn. Right? You don't remember it?
No, I just remember him slapping me around and fucking
waking your ass up,
waking my ass up, and he took me, dragged my ass on the fucking when we got back in a taxi, and he took me to his barracks, to his what do you call it? He got fucked up, blah 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 blah. Because everybody gets fucked up when they come out of the field, so it's like a given, right?
Right.
And the buddies fucking I'm helping a buddy. We would rather drag your ass from wherever the fuck you're at so you wouldn't get in trouble, and everybody, okay, yeah, we'll go. I'm gonna go babysit them and all that. But they didn't know I was loaded, right? That's how I survived that one. And what happened, it like kind of sparked me up, knowing that how's it gonna look? Oh, Mrs. Valadez, yeah, your son died here in Germany of an OD.
Right.
That was the one time that I had clarity. I ended up using the barbiturates to kick, and 7 months later I was out. I got out in September 1980, and they threw me a party, welcome home party at my house. And of course, my brother was getting loaded, right? I walked in on him. This time I said, give me some, motherfucker, right? And then I started fucking, I wasn't even out a day. Right, I'd been drinking, taking barbiturates for 7 months. But as soon as I got home, I see my brother doing that. I said, give me some, and started running around with the homies, getting loaded. And 5 months later, I went to Chino for the first of 40 times. That's how many times I've been to prison. 7 terms and 33 violations. Man, I told you, I had C-37 number, I had a H number, and I had a K number. And each and every one of them, 40 times I've been to prison, that comes out to a little less than 25 years. So lately on all the interviews and 30 years, I didn't do fucking 30 years. The juvenile time and the adult time adds up to a little over 30 years, right?
Over a what period of time?
Since the time I was 11 till the time to the last time I paroled.
Right. So, I'm trying to figure it out because what you're saying makes sense to me. You're saying, look, man, it's not all in one stint, but you piece it all together, it's approximately 30 years. Then I'm trying to think about, well, how much out time did you have during that time?
Fuck, I can't. Somebody asked me that. I can't figure it out because I ran on parole all them times. So 9 months, 10 months, sometimes a month. Sometimes 24 hours.
Right.
Maybe 8 years total time. All of it running, man.
So how soon before you get back from the services are you beginning to do prison time?
I was on 5 months.
5 months and you got picked up.
And I got cracked for burglary. And this is how that motherfucker went. My homie, by then I was already strung out. But I was working under the table for my cousins. And then, they were, I still had that veteran status. I was still good, right?
Right. Soldier home.
But nobody was really fucking dwelling on what I was doing behind closed doors.
Right.
I was hiding it, in other words.
Right.
And my homie, he comes down, tells me he hit a pad, but he didn't have a car. I had a car. He said, can you help me fucking move some of that shit out of the fucking pad? I said, sure. He goes, I'll give you half. I went over there and fucking, I got cracked.
How'd you get cracked?
We were leaving the pad. Somebody had already called the cops, and said we were at the pad, and fucking, and I tried to say, well, no, I found this shit at the side and all that, but they found one fingerprint on the inside of the fucking on the kitchen window, because that's how we went through the kitchen window, right? One fucking fingerprint got me 2 years in the fucking pen.
Damn.
Right. So. Yeah, after that was all that, I went to Chino, and fuck, there was more drugs in Chino than there was in my neighborhood, man.
Right.
And some of the prisons I've been to, there's more drugs than the streets. I went in, one time I went to CRC, I went in, I came out more strung out than when I went in. And a lot of the prisons I went to, so it wasn't like, and then they weren't trying to rehabilitate a motherfucker. They would just lock you up and throw you away during the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how it was, man. Mm-hmm. They weren't trying to say, okay, hey, Joseph, maybe you go to, we'll teach you a trade, or, none of the motherfuckers ever said none of that.
So wait, Steve, can you identify with what Joseph's talking about, saying like, hey, man, I went in and I came out more strung out than I went in?
1,000%. I mean, I remember I did a 4-year term, and the last year of a 4-year term, I ended up coming from up north. I came down, adverse transfer down to the 4-yard in Lancaster. Right?
I've been there.
I'm on the B yard.
I've been there. I was on I ran the canteen on the B yard in 98.
Okay, listen, I'm there about that time.
That's probably where I see you.
Well, it might be, because
I was in 5 block.
I was in 2 block. Okay, did you know Artie from Santa Monica? Artie?
No, Artie, lifer.
Yeah. Artie and Trigger from St. Andrews, they're the ones hitting for that whole yard, dog. And I get there, and Artie's got me strung out from the moment I walk on that yard.
I worked the canteen. I worked the canteen for 1.5 years on that yard.
I saw you on that yard then, bro.
Holy shit.
Tiny, too. Tiny from Orange County was on that yard.
Tiny, who did the show?
Yeah, Big Tiny.
Big Tiny.
Trigger was, too. Trigger from El Monte Flores. Tiny from Unas. So Art was up there.
Let me think of the dude that was calling shots on that yard.
I'll tell you who it was. When I got there, it was Howdy. Howdy. Who got...
Howdy. He fucked up.
The second day I was there, I meet Howdy. And
politics.
I'm laughing.
The second day I'm on the yard after confined to quarters, CTQ, I finally get out to the yard. They introduced me to Howdy. 20 minutes after I meet the guy, they hit the guy.
No, but there was somebody else after him.
Sure. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah, but I was in 5 block.
So was it there? From Hawaiian. Who was it from Hawaiian Gardens? Oh, God. And his son ended up getting busted in there and on the same yard with him. Ah, man. But anyways, okay.
They were in 5 block.
Chito?
Because they ended up being cellies. The dad and the
son?
They were cellies in my block.
It was Chito.
I can't remember, man.
Yeah,
I've seen thousands and thousands, but I was there.
Yeah, okay, all right. So there you go. So I leave prison. I parole. Trying to clean. I'm trying to. I stop using like 3 or 4 days before I parole because I know that I have a test to give for my parole officer on the outside that I don't want to be dirty for.
What? Hey, let me ask you.
I'm kicking while I'm getting ready to parole.
You know what I used to do on that?
What?
You ask me, are you dirty? Yeah. Where are you from? Where did you get dirty? From the pen. Come on, man. Like you don't know.
Oh, yeah. I never did that. I didn't want to take the chance on getting violated.
Listen, let me ask you a question. Tell me about, like, the experience in the headspace of, God damn, Steve, that's fucked up, bro.
It is fucked up, bro.
Because what is it like when, on the one hand, you're like, fuck, I'm going to be out of this place.
Well, when I get there, you got to remember.
But you are also like, I got an extra job to do. It's coming for me. I got like 2 weeks before you got to start thinking about the test. You got to also be thinking like, I better fucking have a good one. Tell me that process, bro. Like, how do you get yourself mentally prepared to be like, I got a kick and I'm gonna be paroling and this might be my last one?
It's a nightmare, bro. You're trying to just wing this shit.
Let me interject something.
Do it.
Think about this. When it comes to the mind of an addict,
Yeah.
think about this. Especially if you want that drug.
Yeah.
And in places. Think of where that shit came from and where it came out of.
Oh, we've heard.
Somebody stuck it up their ass.
Of course.
Somebody shitted it out.
Right.
Or somebody threw it up.
Right.
And we're fucking slamming it.
I mean, yeah, and like I understand that, like, you know, you got like you got a keister shit and all that stuff, and people are slamming it. So that's it. So that's why I'm saying, what's the like when you know you gotta stop, right? You know you gotta stop, and what should be kind of a celebration, which is like, I'm getting out of this place.
You know what, brother? You know when I was there the whole time? I walked around that whole time with a fucking outfit in my ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
All day.
You have to if you want one.
And go to sleep with that motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you
outfit,
fart?
You gotta cut him down.
Can you fart with that thing in your ass? Can you like?
Sometimes.
Yeah, you can learn how.
Sometimes. But
what do you gotta do? Like lean on a cheek?
Yeah,
like one
you gotta,
cheek.
like,
You gotta do a little
no,
leaner.
but if I had to go take a shit, I'd have to pull it out.
Right.
I can take a shit, clean it out, and redo it and put it back up.
Right.
But I tell you, man, the going out, I tell you, the most fucked up thing is that I was kicking a pretty decent habit, so I still wasn't completely kicked when I paroled. So, bro, I'm getting out of prison, and it's like you're supposed to be super happy, and everybody's going to see you as super happy, and you should be super happy. You're getting out of prison.
Right.
But I'm still coming off of, it's a weird way to come out.
Right, that's what I'm
You're
thinking.
coming out with problems that usually you come in with.
Right.
I hated that damn place because they took your ass all the way to Santa Clarita or at some fucking hospital, and you had to catch the bus all the way down San Fernando Road, man. I forgot what happened. My ride didn't go there that day, and that took me fucking like all day to get home, man.
Hey,
from Lancaster.
Hey guys, just on a side note, real quick, I just want to check in with some of our Square brothers. Sean, I just want to check in with your.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Square. This is for the Mr. and Mrs. Square earbuds.
Do you want me to whisper?
Yeah, well, disculpe. You know, I don't want to disrespect. But I want to ask you, what's it like for you to hear Steve and Joseph all of a sudden reunite and recognize that, oh, we were in prison in the same, I was working the canteen. What about Howdy? He fucked up. Like, what is that? Why is that the most, like, I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Why
it's
do I
almost
love
like they figured out they went to the same high school or something.
I love it.
High school reunion.
Yeah, I fucking love that. That probably made my entire fucking week, bro.
Yeah. No, but you think about it. Hold on. You think about it. What about this? I ain't gotta live like that no more. You're not living like that no more, man. By God's good grace, we don't have to live like that no more. No. Took me a lot of years.
Right.
Took me a lot of years through my addiction.
Why? Now, let me ask you.
You got to remember all them times. Is stealing for drugs.
Right.
I was selling drugs.
Right.
I got busted for identity theft, trying to get drugs. Let's see. Okay, burglaries, petty theft. Oh my God, how the fuck they do that one in the state?
All for drugs. All related to drugs.
Boosting.
All for drugs, though, right?
And never, ever. Think about this. Never, ever. Oh, hold on. And when I go to Chino, every time I go to Chino, or whatever the guidance is later on, the law school, one time Donovan was our guidance center, reception center, then Delano. Each and every time they ask you, hey, you use drugs? I go, yeah. like a badge of honor. No, but like I'm
Right.
I'm shitting you not, man. I gotta keep it real. Well, what's your drug of choice? I love heroin. Not just like that.
Right.
I love slamming heroin. And not once in all that fucking time did anybody say, well, don't you think you got a problem?
Right.
Don't you think we ought to send you to rehab?
That was never offered.
Right.
Never,
That was
ever
offered in the
once.
old days.
Never, ever once did any of them motherfuckers say, hey, Joseph, you know what? You got a fucked up problem. Let's save the state some money and send your ass to fucking rehab.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Not one time. All them 40 times. Not once.
I think that partially the war on drugs, like
Don't get me started on that.
I'm gonna
brother.
get you started. Listen, I think partially the war on quote unquote war on drugs was designed to create like another form of slavery and or get government money into private companies' hands.
Did you know when George Bush was a director of the CIA, they were bringing boatloads of cocaine in the United States?
Yes, I did, sir.
Do you know what the money was used for?
To fund rebels that were shutting down socialism in South America.
They were funneling the Contras that were
That's right.
fighting the Sandinistas in
Right.
Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Right. Iran-Contra. Reagan was part of that, too.
And the Clash put out an album called Sandinista.
And at the same time, Reagan saying just say no to drugs.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and
then they criminalized crack into such a way that
but they had a direct hand in feeding the appetite.
of course.
In feeding the appetite, you don't. If you think and you look, the United States has a drug problem, right? But when the crack came, it's like it like they saturated all the inner cities, all the
Yes, they
barrios.
did. Yes,
That's where
they
they
did.
went, and of course they went to the suburbs and whatever. But originally, that was meant for the inner cities and the barrios of the United States. Man.
Right. I know that. And listen, that was at the same time that they started flooding the inner cities, especially in Los Angeles, was when the Black Panthers were actually starting to come to some political power and taking care of inner city black youths. They were giving free breakfasts.
Lunches.
They were doing all that shit. And then all of a sudden they flood that whole area with drugs and get people fighting over drug territory and all that violence. Then they put this myth out about that, you know, these crack beasts and we got to give them triple sentences because it's a different kind of criminal when they're on crack. All that
no.
bullshit.
I've written papers on the criminal justice system in the United States. Actually, California. But the United States is no different, man.
I agree. And
the differences in having crack and powder, it to me that was the stupidest thing. But
you know what? Listen, Joseph is bringing up for the first time something. I read a book, and I can't remember who it was by, but it was by a journalist, and he said the same thing, and a lot of people knew this. This whole thing about...
Me and Pauly B got sentenced to
Let me
more
tell you.
time because they caught us with crack, bro.
But the thing...
Than powder coke.
But the thing that's
got
so
more time.
it's so crazy is that scientists after scientists has always said there's no difference between...
no difference.
Right. Your body... It's the same chemical if it's powder or crack. Your body... Yeah.
He's gonna still feel the same high. There's no difference.
Right.
Just like if you slam, snort,
Yeah.
or smoke fucking heroin.
Right.
You're gonna still feel the.
You're gonna get to the same destination.
Except some you might have to use a little bit more, but you're gonna get
Yeah,
the same
that's
fucking
right.
effect.
So basically, you want to know what it was, what the plan was by the powers that be? I'm not even going to say necessarily the government because I truly believe the government belongs to the people and the people could take it over if they decide to. Okay. But the powers that be, it would be the same thing as if they said, okay, if we're going to catch you with expensive Bordeaux wine, you're going to do 2 weeks or a slap on the wrist. But if we catch you with Colt 45,
Yeah, right.
then you're going to do triple life because that's a different kind
It's
of
the
drug.
same
good
as if
analogy.
you're a
That's true.
felon
I
and
like
we
that
catch you with a
analogy.
gun, opposed to if you don't have a felony and we catch you with a gun.
I'm just saying, like, it's the same fucking drug in a different format, and it's a format that only poor people can afford. Crack made white powder cocaine, only rich motherfuckers could afford that shit. right? And then they put it in the crack format so that you can get a 2010 whatever hit. Now, only people that can afford that are the inner city folks. And then that's who they lock up.
Well, right. And if you shoplift a can of booze, you can't own a gun.
Right.
How about that?
Right. But the thing of it is, Joseph, is like it's a double-edged sword, or it's a tricky issue to walk, because on the one hand, like, because I'm in recovery. I'm not in recovery off of dry goods. I'm in recovery off of wet goods. Right. I got since 2002. Okay. So.
Well, you're afraid of Bill W?
Yeah. So from 2002, right? I'm coming up.
I'm a friend of Jimmy K.
Okay. So
that's how we say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the point of the matter is like, on the one hand, right, I totally want to explain and show, like, hey, the rules are stacked in such a way to make sure that certain types of people are going to prison and or feeding this system, right? That's one thing. The flip side is I also want to say, like, listen, you also got to take care of yourself. If you're going to play the game, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, I don't know, but the only one that's going to help you, it's not going to be Uncle Sam. You got to confront the real truth of the matter and do whatever it takes to get yourself right.
Hey, are you familiar with Ivan Bolsky? Ivan Bolsky?
No.
He was a trader for Lehman Brothers.
Okay.
Right?
I know Lehman Brothers.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He got busted for fucking insider trading. He made something like $5 billion on insider trading.
Right.
I have to say this was mid-90s, maybe. But I had just got busted, right? I got busted with $1,500 worth of fucking Levi's receiving. My homeboy was sick, and he goes, man, if you give me a ride, I'm going to hit these shops, beam, run out some fucking Levi's, and I'll give you half, right? I said, okay, cool. All I had to do was drive, right? And I'm going to get half, right? And I know the homie's a good hustler, right? Well, I told him, hey, if they come chasing after, don't run to the fucking car, man. Go run the other way, and I'll pick your ass up. Of course, he ran to the car, right? And so I'm sitting in West Court. This happened over there in Garden Grove. So I'm sitting in West Court. And I had already been, that was like my fourth time. I was out working on my fifth time. That had been my fifth term. And here comes a fucking, my public pretender. He wasn't a public defender. The motherfucker was a pretender.
Right.
And he comes at me and he tells me, well, this is a deal. You know, you got this prior, and then they just enacted 667 and blah, 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 blah for the second strike and the third strike. That's when the third strike and the third strike law came in, right? He goes, the deal is 48 years, right?
Damn.
I go, 48 years? Well, who the fuck did I kill?
Right.
Right? No, but that's because of your priors, and that's when the three strike just kicked in, and they were stacking all these fucking 5-year fucking enhancements and what I'm not, right?
Habitual criminal act and all that shit.
And that was for $1,500 worth of shit. Needless to say, I was in a happy camper when I walked my ass back to the fucking county, and I'm watching this fucking news of Ivan Bolsky. Ivan Bolsky, they broke his ass. All he had to do was write a check for $3 billion to the government. He got to keep all his houses.
Right.
He got to keep all that, right? And they only gave him 18 months. So what's the moral of that story?
That if you got money,
you don't have to do the time.
Different rules for people who are rich.
Right. Different rules.
Different fucking rules in the so-called land of the free and equal justice.
I remember that guy that name stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I got busted right when that shit went down. And it was like, fuck, man. We really lived in a fucked up fucking system, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up.
Right. That's why they were saying.
Where's the fucking justice in these motherfuckers are
robbing people of their retirement and shit, right?
I ended up I ended up, on that time, that's the longest time I ever did. They gave me 6 years with 80.
Right.
And that was the deal. I whittled them down all the way. They weren't fucking. They stayed at like fucking 20 for a minute for like 4 or 5 months, man. And I finally got. I don't know how in the fuck that happened. They said 6 years. I said I jumped on it. I said, where do I sign? Right. You know the deal.
Yeah.
You know, and I fucking.
Take it while it's good.
6 was 80 because I fucking. And my fucked up mind was okay. Well, it's a lot better than where they started at. They started at
right.
But my point that's how the criminal justice system in the United States is, and particularly California.
Did they offer it to you with the 2 strikes?
And with the 2 strikes.
Right. That's the setup, bro.
Right.
They get you to take that. Now all they got to do is get you on 1 violent.
And they can get you on 1 violent inside.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's fucked up.
And so,
punch somebody.
And so fucking, that's just going in and out, man. I think the last time I paroled was, I went in a bank. I'm not going to say which bank. My homie set it up. I went in a bank and I took, he fixed it all up, fixed the tax records up, fixed everything up. We ended up getting 2 credit cards that had a maxes of 10 G's each. Mm-hmm. And then I went in the bank because they thought I was a fucking wholesaler of janitorial products, and they gave me a $30,000 in cash and two $10,000 bank drafts. Talking about being so fucking scared, the homie set it up, right? I go in the bank in San Fernando. I'm not gonna say what, because there's a bunch of them in San Fernando.
Sure.
Right? And I walked in, cool as fuck, man, with a tie, my cell phone to the side, fucking with some nice Dockers, nice shoes on.
Right, Mr. Business.
And I'm strung out, right? So I told, hey, puto, you gotta fucking get me loaded before we go, right?
right. Just right.
Get me well before I go.
Oil the gears.
So I go in there, I'm a fucking, I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. You about to win.
Like I do this every fucking day, bro.
Right.
Oh, we've been going over your tax records, and everything's fine, and blah 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 blah, fine. And then the moment of truth, they're going like that, bam, bam, bam. Go to the
teller.
The teller, and I'm thinking, okay, here we go. They're gonna get me. They're gonna fucking get me, right? So fucking, and right there, right over the teller is a fucking camera, right?
Right.
And I'm right there, cool, calm, collected, right? And she goes, well, how do you want it? Well, like I do it we'll take it in hundreds, right?
Like usual.
Like I do it every day, right?
Yeah.
She counts out 30 G's, right? And I go, yeah, can I get one of them bags, right? Mm-hmm. And then they gave me the 2 fucking, I had to sign for the 2 bank drafts, right? So I'm going out, okay, here we go. If I get it, they're going to get me right now. I'm walking, cool. I go out real cool. I pull out a cigarette. I'm smoking a cigarette. And the homies walked around. He's parked like on the way on the other side of the building. I'm walking out. I'm not looking back. I don't hear the. You
don't hear any footsteps.
I don't hear the right. I don't hear none of that. Right. So I'm fucking cool. I said no way. So
no way.
Right. And the homies still parked a little way. So I said, I'm going to get this motherfucker, right? Mm-hmm. So I go, I'm smoking the cigarette, I throw it aside, look to the side, I don't see nothing. So I start walking fast, right? I start power walking, like I'm power walking. And then he's like part around the, what do you call it? And I I ran to the fucking car and I said, come on, man, let's go.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, fool. Right? And he's the one that set the whole thing. I love him to death. He's a good kid. I seen him when he was born. His got the rest of his soul. His dad's was a childhood friend of mine, my homeboy. He said, what the fuck happened? I don't know, that fucking ID you gave me, because he fixed it. He had somebody, I don't know if I should, well, it's already been on. He had somebody in the DMV that gave him a righteous fucking,
a real one.
A fucking righteous driver's license with the fucking numbers on it, right?
Or the real one.
I think he paid like 3 G's for it from the lady that was doing it. Right, mm-hmm. And put the identity, the one that I was using. Yeah, my picture on there. Right now, I don't know Juan fucking Gabriel or fucking, I don't know, whatever the name was. Right? And that's how I got the loan, right? So I got the fucking 30 large here, and I got fucking the 2 bank drafts here, and I'm fucking with them. I said, come on, fool, let's get the fuck out of here. Where's the money? They ain't give me shit, motherfucker. You fucked up with it. Because he wasn't too shaky about it. He wasn't too sure about the
ID.
Right.
The driver's license.
Right.
I said, why would you be? It's legit. It's right out of the fucking DMV, right? Yeah. But he had that going on. So we're down the street, and I said, fucking, let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of the fucking valley. Let's go wait till we get to fucking whatever, right?
Right.
Right. Oh, man, I knew it. He's going, now he's doubting, and he's going, I knew it, right? He's doubting. That's why I could have clipped his ass right there. Right. And I pull it out, and I go, bam. We go, oh, you motherfucker, man.
All right.
Oh, watch out.
Hey, watch out.
I fucked his ass with good.
Yeah.
You know, that kid's a good kid. He's one of my main supporters today, man. He's legit. He's everything. He's like, but that's just one of the things we did, man. The kid's a good kid.
Let me ask you this then, look, Joseph. How did you begin to pull out of this lifestyle?
You got to remember.
Wait. Before you go, Joseph, Mr. Joseph, all due respect, I'm thinking we should just have Joseph. Is it hard for you to come in and do the show? Do you live far away?
I live 4 miles away from him.
Why don't we just settle it right here, right? And say there's going to be a Joseph rise to glory story, right? Let's not.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't got to that part yet.
Right. There's
a lot of details though.
He's thinking of having you back.
I'm thinking I want to have you come back and tell.
I don't mind, brothers. I don't mind.
Because honestly,
I like this.
This is pure gold. With everything that you've said from the beginning, we covered politics, we covered the upbringing, we covered a fucking tank.
Okay, but I want to know how this $30,000 got spent.
All right. How did the $30,000 and then we're gonna have him come back?
Well, you got $30,000. Did you guys go buy an ounce?
He set it up. It was his whole, what do you call it? Right?
Mm-hmm. It was his whole scam.
See what happened?
Joseph is a righteous dude because he could have clipped him right there and he fucking laid it out.
You wouldn't be righteous if you did that.
No, you know why? I'll tell you why. When my mom died, I was busted. I was in Donovan. Right? I was 10 days to the house. And she lived out in Riverside. And everybody knew. She moved from my neighborhood to Riverside. She gave my sisters money. Go with God. But this house, my brother was doing 18 years at the time. God rest his soul. He's been gone for 2 years. He OD'd in Santa Ana. After doing 18 straight.
How long was he out for you?
Well, he's out for about 5 years, 6 years.
Okay, all right.
Still struggling though. He was still struggling.
Yeah.
They knew that house in Riverside was being my brother's, right? Everybody knew, right? So when I died, when my mom died, I was busted. Man, I was so despondent. I was all fucked up. I tried to kill myself. I had cooked up a gram of heroin fucking in the morning. I was so despondent, man. My mom, man, it was by rock, man. That lady. She never gave up hope on me, man. Just leave that fucking shit alone, man. You could do whatever you want to do, just leave that shit alone, man. She always told me that, brothers. Good, bad, or indifferent. My mom always showed me unconditional love, man.
Same here.
Wow.
Same here.
She see me at my worst, and she still didn't give up hope on me, man. Yeah. My mom, she never gave hope on me, man. She never, visited me in prison because she said that she didn't bring me in this world to go see me locked up like an animal.
Man.
All the time I've been to prison, she never went. I came home, man. I fucking bawled like a little boy, man. Fucking wailing. I remember that day, man. Fucking wailing, man. Like fucking, my heart was ripped. That night I went and bought a fucking grab. I fixed it. Fucking, I woke up in the morning, man, with the outfit still in my arm.
Fuck.
And there was still dope in the fucking, I was crying so hard, I guess, man. I didn't do it right.
Your broken heart.
I didn't cook it all.
Your broken heart saved you.
I didn't cook it all. We went and buried my mom, and after that, I fucking went on the wall. And my mom was old school. She was from the Depression. One day she had told me, man, I was strung out. She knew I was strung out. She didn't believe in banks, and she had like 7 G's in a fucking little. I don't know the fuck she found out. It's beyond me. She had the medicine cabinet, and she knew there was screws, and she learned how to take the screws off. And there was a, you know how the wood, you have the 16 inches apart,
Studs?
Right.
The studs,
Yeah.
right? But there's a fire block. There was like a little fire block, right? And it fit perfect over the fucking medicine cabinet. I don't know how the fuck she figured that out. She put her money right there. And I remember the day she told me, man. You know, I flashed back on a lot of this time, man. I think she knew, but she didn't want to tell me that something was wrong. Because she ended up having cancer of the brain when they found out. She was beyond, they only had given her 2 months or a month.
Right.
That day she told me about the money, man. I didn't want to. I told her, because I was already strung out. I told her I didn't want to know. I don't want to know, ma. And she slapped the shit out of me. I think I was almost 50. And she slapped the shit out of me. Said, no, in case your emergency, your mom was, you have to pay the bills and all that. I didn't trust myself then. But she showed me. So when I got out, and that night I almost tried to kill my fucking self, I went straight to the medicine cabinet because I knew that money was still there, right? And I unhooked it. I pulled it out. I went on a while when they caught me like 6 months, 7 months later. You ever see, picture this, you ever see them pinchy concentration camp, the Hitler, during Hitler era?
Yeah.
When they came in, that's how I looked when they got me.
Skeletor.
All emaciated.
Like that.
Been on a good one.
I think when I weighed in over there at the county in Riverside, I weighed in at 123.
Shit.
Fuck.
Right?
Yeah.
So, during that time, when they caught me, 6 months later, my sister went and forged the deed of the house. Right? And the little brother, I did that to go to the bank. He's a realtor. Right? I was busted due to violation. I don't know how much fucking time it was, 6 months or whatever. After the time they caught me, where I weighed 120 pounds. My sister, I guess she figured this was the right time to fucking get it while I was busted.
I've seen it
So
before.
she went and fucking forged my mom's
Name.
name.
Signature, yeah.
And she was trying to sell it out there in Riverside. Well, my little homie lives over here in Stanton, right?
Yeah.
He found out because his mom and my sister were best of friends at that time, right? He found out that she's trying to fucking sell the house, and his mom knew the whole story that house was supposed to be buying, right? And they knew that she did something fucked up with the deed, right? So she told her son to go over there and investigate, because Joseph was busted, right? And he did, and she told her, no, this is my house, blah blah blah. And his mom had told him the story. No, that's not her house, man. She did whatever she did and blah, 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 right? So he ended up looking out for me, man.
Did they sell the house or no?
And this is how he did it. Because she had forged it and because it was legally in her name, he did this. He got hired on as a realtor, right? Mm-hmm. She signed all these power of attorney. She signed all these documents, right? Mm-hmm. And during the conference, while they were having, she's telling him, well, how much do you think I get, for this house? And this before the 2007, it took real estate took a shit. Right.
Bubble burst.
Right around at 3 months, there was before it took a shit, right?
Yep.
That's when they sold the house. I think we got 430 or whatever it was. Well, we went 6 ways. We ended up getting, but this is what he said. This is how he worked her. He worked her and blah, blah. She signed over and blah, 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 blah. And then she said, well, how much, she said, well, how much you think I get for this house? And blah, blah. And he goes, 430, 6 ways. And she goes, 6 ways? No, I get all that money. She told him. I go, no, you don't. What about Joseph? My little brother's doing, he's doing 25 to life because he's under 3 strikes. What about him? What about your sister? No, this is all mine. He goes, no. And she tells her, no, you're going to go 6 ways. She goes, well, no, then you can't be my realtor. I said, hold on, you signed papers, right? So down, because I think this document's forged. I'm going to report it to the probate, right?
Probate, yeah.
And they're going to investigate. And guess what? That's going to be stuck in probate for 2, 3 years, 4 years, baby.
Easily.
Right?
Easily.
So if you do it my way, he told her, you get your money real quick, and you have to go 6 ways, and you go your merry way. And that's how he did it. He looked out for me.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's
Steve?
dope. Now that's looking out.
So
when
he wants me to go do this thing for the bank, he's the one that did that for me, right? I said, all right, just give me 5 G's, I told him, right? Right? And because he did that for me.
Right.
And that's why I did it. That's how that came about. I did that.
Sean, play the wrap up. I think we need to end it there.
Yep.
You need to come back, my friend.
Yeah.
Because all honesty, sir.
Yeah, so we got to the whole dope thing.
Right.
How much gets out, does that lick, and that's where we're going to pick up the next show. You're going to take us from there through your process. Man, bro.
I want to say just right now, man, and we've had a lot of guests on the show, and this is no disrespect to them, but I just want to say I'm really honored and touched that you came on here and shared your story, your heart. I mean, your feelings about your mom and how much she meant to you, that moved me, brother. Yeah. That really moved me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
That lady never gave up hope on me, man.
No. Well, that's part 1.
Right.
Joseph Valadez.
Valadez. Valadez.
Valadez. Excuse me. Valadez. Keep that right.
Right.
You have any shout-outs till your next time on? You have any shout-outs for anybody out there? Joseph?
I want to shout out to my little homie Bobby, man. Güero. Love you, kid.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Güero.
Okay.
Is there anything that anybody do you have a business or anything that you're pushing, or you want anybody to
Nah, man, I'm just waiting right now. I'm waiting to see if I get accepted to the master's program.
Hey, you need a letter you need a letter of recommendation from an attorney, graduate from Berkeley.
I seen that.
Hey,
the waves.
Hit me up, brother. I'll
the waves? That's
Pepperdine. Pepperdine Law is the Waves. Berkeley's the Bears. But I am Pepperdine Law, undergraduate Berkeley, master's from UCLA.
Oh, Berkeley, right?
Yeah.
You ever see behind the stadium, all the houses? On the hill?
Oh, for sure.
There's a state park up there.
Yeah, I've been through all that.
And how do you think I know that?
How do you know that?
How do you know that?
How do you know that?
Well, this is how I went. I went level 1, level 2, Level 3, Corcoran Shule, Corcoran, Lancaster, Ironwood, Camp.
Got it.
That's my adventures.
There you go.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you got?
I just got www. Supermax. Hardware.com. Pay us a visit.
Right.
Shout out to Esteban Oriol and Soul Assassins, cities of Santa Monica.
Mm-hmm.
The Vibes family, the Cookies family.
Right. Rolaids.
Shout out.
Indigestion Rolaids.
And 7-Eleven Executive Brand Coffee.
I love it. Oh, Blue Eyes?
Sean at hardluckshow.com.
All right. And Ovanda Bowen, LLP. We wear braids to court. Let the tomahawks fly. You got the red power behind you if you hire this firm. And I want to give a shout out to some of our listeners because they were done. Listen, Emery23, what's up? Adam Dare, what's up? Remember Adam Dare?
Adam Dare's my boy.
Yeah. Funk Machine 62, say hello to Funk Machine 61 for us. Darth Omar, Tinu Coz, Mr. G, Tu Sabes, Martin 823, Orange County 66, Chicano 85, Games 323. Yeah. Everybody's down. Listen, spread it to your friends. Let's stop the bullshit. Let's just cut the fucking bullshit and like really learn something in this fucking world. All right, that's all I got. Please.
Like we do about this time. Hasta la vista. Adios.
Come on, Blue Eyes. Come on, Blue Eyes. I said, woo! Come on. Now, that's what I call a hard luck show. Hard luck. Hard rock, hard luck, hard time. Indians up in